malice and stuff, and he was a nasty person in this. Only cared about how. Why, hello there, YouTube, and welcome back to 31. So it's day 3 now, and we're on our third day of Guillermo del Toro week. And today I'm reviewing Pan's Labyrinth. So this is written and directed by Guillermo del Toro, and its Spanish name is El Labrito, El Labrito del Fono, and it stars Sergi Lopez, Madel Vedu, Ivana Paquaro, Doug Jones, Adrian Gill, and Alex Angulo. So it's a fantasy film, but it's a dark fantasy film with very unnerving, very unsettling, and very eerie, spooky horror settings. So this is set in 1944 Spain, where Spain were in their own civil war, so they didn't partake in the big world war. And Othelia is sent to live with her ruthless stepfather and in the country until one night she discovers there's a fairy that takes her to this faun played by Doug Jones, and tells her that she must complete 3 gruesome tasks to prove her royalty, that she is this princess. And of course, along the way, she comes across many unnerving creatures, including the Pale Man, also played by Doug Jones, with his eyes in his hands like that. And we see some magic, we see some dark fantasy, we see the visuals and the mind of Guillermo del Toro in this one. So what did I like about this? Well, first of all, this film is in Spanish. It's all Spanish spoken. I mean, the trailer, when I saw the trailer, it was in English, had English voiceovers, but we didn't see any characters speak. So, but yeah, I didn't see this film till many years after it came out in 2006, and it was in Spanish. But I don't mind that. I don't mind. Like I say, I like Spanish horror, and I like German, Japanese, Korean, some Koreans. But yeah, I didn't mind that. If there was a dubbing option for this, I would have watched it dubbed, but there wasn't. So I thought, okay, I'll read the subtitles. So I didn't mind reading that. So if you don't mind subtitles in English or whatever, then yeah, I didn't mind it. So I watched it, and yeah, had very good, dark, gloomy visuals, especially the effects for the Thorn, played by Doug Jones, and also the Pale Man. I believe that looked kind of practical for me. It looked practical, and I gotta say, good visuals on that scene, especially that Pale Man. He is very unsettling, the way he moves and has those eyes in his hands. And we see her with these tasks. One of those tasks is to not take the fruit from the Pale Man's table. But yeah, Doug Jones, probably the only American actor in this movie. and he must have either learnt Spanish or he knew Spanish. Either way, he did a good performance doing all these lines in Spanish. Whether he was dubbed over, I'm not sure, but yeah. I also liked our lead actress in this, Ivana Banquero, who played Ophelia. She was the little girl in it, and she was the character we followed in this film. I also thought her stepfather, Captain Vidal, who was played by Sergei Lopez, did a good performance playing the villain. Like, just shows that even though there were monsters in this movie, the scariest monster of all is humans and their malice and stuff. And he was a nasty person in this. Only cared about having a son and did terrible things to people, as we see in this film. But we find there's a resistance. Of course, at the end, Ophelia does die, but then she ends up in the other world with her rightful family, and she is now the princess. That end scene was very pretty, beautifully done. Like I said, it were all good visuals from the mind and vision of Guillermo del Toro, and he does a good job with the storytelling and the directing. Yeah, but yeah. Also, I should mention in 31 is tradition for me to do at least one movie that is one movie at least that isn't English spoken. I put that down to challenging and stuff. So, like I say, I review one non-English movie in this and one or maybe a few family-friendly horrors in this because I just, why does it always have to be R-rated, English gore? Anyway, Pan's Labyrinth. Like I say, I did enjoy this one. It was, like I say, dark and visually stunning, and almost 20 years later, I still think it holds up. This one was about 2 hours exactly, and for me, those 2 hours flew by pretty quick. Yeah, really did. And yeah, I like this one. It's Spanish and it's Mexican, but set in Spain, so it makes sense that it's Spanish. And the whole film, like I said, is Spanish spoken. So, Pan's Labyrinth. Do I have anything to dislike? I don't think so, but yeah, like I say, Doug Jones had worked with Guillermo del Toro before on Hellboy, which is something we'll get to tomorrow. But for now, Pan's Labyrinth. What am I going to rate this one? You know what? I like this one quite a lot. I'll give it 5 stabs out of 5. 5 stabs out of 5 for Pan's Labyrinth. So there you go. There is my review for that one. Have you seen it? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Share with your friends and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and to hit that notification bell. I've been Random Ross and this has been 31 Day 3 and Day 3 of Guillermo del Toro week. So, I'll see you tomorrow. So until then, don't have nightmares.